Here is my subway experience I had on 2/2/24 in Springfield, Minnesota. At around 5:30, I decided I wanted a Subway sandwich. And I was only a mile away from the Subway in Springfield, Minnesota. I didn't pull over to use the app or anything. I was like, I'll just swing in and get one sandwich, and I knew they would be busy. I was well aware of that. 5:30, that's a prime time. But I was like, that's okay. I got all the time in the world. I'll just pull in. I'll wait. No big deal, if they're busy. And I pulled in and I walked in, and yes, they were busy. But I was okay with that. I knew it was a busy time, but I was only going to get one sandwich, and I had all the time in the world, so I'll just wait. And they did tell me, hey, we're really busy. It's going to be a little bit. Do you mind waiting? And I was like, no. I'm good. There was 2 young adults working and 1 adult. There was 3 of them. And so I waited, and the whole time I'm waiting, all they were doing was crabbing about how nothing was prepped. And the young woman there, she was going on and on and on. This is how it always is, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, ooh, that's some good gossip. So I was just quiet, and I was just listening, and I had all the time in the world, so I wasn't irritated or anything. I was willing to wait. And finally, it was my turn. And the young man says to me, what would you like? And I said, I would like a BMT, a foot-long BMT on white. And he looks at me, he goes, I'm sorry, we don't make BMTs anymore. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's been a while since I've been to Subway. And he goes, but we have, and he named some kind of special BMT. And he goes, but we have this BMT, and it comes with extra cheese. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I don't want extra cheese. And I was like, he just can't take the cheese off and make it a regular BMT. But you know what? He's busy. He's looking kind of frazzled. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make this simple for him. Because I used to work in fast food. I get it. I know. So I just said, you know what? Let's just make it a ham and cheese. I mean, how easy is that? A ham and cheese. So he's like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, I don't want that special BMT. I wasn't about to explain to him that maybe he could just take all the other stuff off and make it a regular BMT. I was just like, yeah, no, I'm not going to go there. So I was like, no, ham and cheese is fine. I like ham and cheese. So he makes me my little ham and cheese. He asked me if I want it toasted. And I'm like, no, that's fine. So again, I wait because they're busy they're making online orders. And the whole time I'm waiting for them to make my sandwich, because the ham and cheese is on there. Now I just need the good stuff. And the whole time I'm in there, they were crabbing about that they ran out of steak. And they have all these online orders that have steak on them. And they're like, oh, what do we do? And then when the employee goes, well, we're going to have to start calling people and seeing if they'll wait or if they want, something else. And so that's what they did. They got on the phone and they were calling people. And then I hear the young woman called somebody and said, yeah, we're out of steak. What else would you like? And the person on the phone must have said, just switch it to a BMT. So then she yells to the person who was, slicing the bread and stuff, make that one a BMT. And I'm like, apparently they get a BMT, but whatever. Maybe it was one of those special BMTs. I don't know. But, I'm waiting for her to put the stuff on my sandwich. And the whole time they're talking about these large orders they have and how they're out of steak. And Amanda, if you're watching, you were one of the customers because they said your name several times. And Amanda, they said you were crabby. Yep, Amanda, they did. They said you were crabby. But anyway, and so she gets to me and she's like, what would you like on your sandwich? The young woman says. And I say, I would like some lettuce. So she goes to put lettuce on it, and the little lettuce bin was almost empty. So I was like, oh, I don't want to wait for her to get another lettuce bin, So I said, that's enough lettuce. That's good. And I was very polite. She's like, okay. And then I said, can I get some mayo and some honey mustard? So she's putting the mayo on. It's almost empty. She's banging it on the table. And I was like, oh, how many times is she going to have to bang it? So I'm like, that's enough mayo. I'm good. And she's like, are you sure? And I was like, yep, I'm good. And so then she puts the mustard on. And then just as I was opening my mouth to tell her what else I wanted on it, because I wanted quite a few, extras on it, she cuts the sandwich and she folds it. She puts the top on. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I'm done. And she goes, oh, are you sure? What else do you want on it? And she says that kind of snotty. And I was like, nope, I'm not even going to go there. I'm done. I said, nope, I'm good. I'm ready. And she's like, okay. And then she wraps it up. And then we get to the checkout. And I always tip the Subway people, always. So there's the little tip jar there. And it was empty. So I tipped $3. Not that that matters. But I took my $3. I put it in there. And then she says to me, what was this sandwich again? I said it was a whole ham and cheese with nothing that I wanted on it. and I didn't say it snotty. I was saying it kind of jokingly. And then she's like, just giving me the stink eye. And then she says to me, she goes, well, you don't have to make a big deal out of it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm done. So I reach in, I take my tip money out, and she's like, I don't care. And then I was like, okay. So I just turned around and I walked out. I didn't pay for the sandwich. I didn't take the sandwich. And as I'm walking out the door, she's like yelling at me something. I don't know what. She was yelling about something, and I just kept walking. I wasn't wasting any more of my life with these people in this Subway chain. I'm like, I'm done. But yeah, that was my experience at Subway, and I'm not going to say I'll never eat there again because I don't eat there a lot anyway. They don't make a lot of money off of me, so it doesn't matter. But I just thought, and I get it. I used to work fast food. I understand. But, oh, geez, this was beyond bad customer service. And the way they were talking about all these people that had used the app for online orders. Oh, my God, the way they were talking about someone named Manda, I couldn't believe it. I was like, are you serious? They're talking out loud about this person. I was like, whatever. But anyway, that was my experience with a Subway in Springfield, Minnesota.